It's 2000, and Chelsea Football Club is on the rise. Big money, big dreams, and an ambition to conquer not just England, but Europe. But amidst the club's meteoric rise, there's one story that defies all logic. The story of a man who became one of football's greatest mysteries, and one of its most infamous contracts. This is the tale of Winston Bogarde. Winston Bogarde wasn't just any footballer. He was a solid defender, with a career most could only dream of. Ajax, AC Milan, Barcelona, his CV was stacked. He was part of the legendary Ajax squad that won the Champions League in 1995. He shared the field with players like Patrick Kluivert, Clarence Seedorf and Edgar Davids, part of a golden generation that dominated European football. Bogarde's talents were clear, and after stints with AC Milan and Barcelona, he was a player in demand. Known for his versatility, he could play as a centre-back or a full-back, a valuable asset for any club aiming for the top. But in the summer of 2000, with Louis van Gaal leaving Barcelona, Bogarde found himself at a crossroads. Chelsea, under the manager Gianluca Vialli, was looking to build a squad capable of challenging for the Premier League title. They had already made some ambitious signings and were ready to add experience and depth to their defence. So when Winston Bogarde became available on a free transfer, Chelsea saw an opportunity. A seasoned defender, a winner, available at no cost but his wages. It seemed like a no-brainer. Bogarde signed a 4-year contract worth £40,000 a week. But there was a catch, one that would leave Chelsea fans shaking their heads for years to come. You see, Bogarde's arrival at Chelsea wasn't exactly greeted with the fanfare of a marquee signing. In fact, within weeks, things took a dramatic turn. Vialli was sacked just a month into the season, and in came Claudio Ranieri, the Tinkerman, with his own ideas and preferences. Ranieri didn't see Bogarde as part of his plans, whether it was a clash of styles, personalities, or simply the manager's preference for other players. Bogarde found himself sidelined almost immediately, but rather than seek a move away to revive his career, Bogarde made a decision that shocked the footballing world. He stayed, day after day, week after week, year after year. Bogarde collected his paychecks, trained with the reserves, and watched from the sidelines. In 4 years at Chelsea, he made just 9 appearances. To put that into perspective, that's about 2 games per year on average. So why didn't he just leave? Surely a player of his caliber could find another club, somewhere to actually play football. But Bogarde saw things differently. He had a contract, a legally binding agreement, and he intended to honor it on his terms. In an interview, Bogarde famously said, "Why should I throw 15 million euros away when it is already mine?" For him, it wasn't about playing time or the spotlight. It was about principle, about financial security. He had negotiated a contract, and as far as he was concerned, it was Chelsea's responsibility to uphold it. Chelsea tried to offload him. They offered to negotiate a release to pay him off, but Bogarde wouldn't budge. He turned down transfer offers, refused loan moves, and remained steadfast. For many, it was baffling, even maddening. But Bogarde wasn't swayed by public opinion. To most, it made no sense. Why would a professional footballer, a man who had played for some of Europe's biggest clubs, choose to sit on the bench to let his career drift away, rather than seek the glory of the pitch elsewhere? Was it stubbornness? Was it greed? Or was it simply a cold, calculated decision? But here's where Bogarde's story takes an unexpected turn. In a world where footballers are often criticized for chasing money, Bogarde was condemned for not chasing it. He was staying put, honoring his contract to the letter. Yet instead of being seen as loyal or principled, he was labeled a mercenary. This raises uncomfortable questions about the nature of football, about loyalty, and about the expectations placed on players. Bogarde's situation was a stark reminder that football is, at its core, a business. Clubs sign players for financial reasons, so why shouldn't players make decisions based on finances too? In hindsight, Bogarde's decision might have been seen differently had Chelsea not been successful. But during his time at the club, Chelsea won trophies, secured Champions League football, and attracted star players. Yet Bogarde's presence remained a footnote, a curious side story in a period of transformation for the club. When his contract finally ended In 2004, Bogarde quietly left Chelsea, having played just a handful of games. There was no grand farewell, no tribute from the fans. He simply walked away, financially secure, but with his football legacy forever tied to one of the most notorious contracts in the sport. His career at the top level was over, but he left behind a legacy, not of goals or trophies, but of a lesson in contracts, power, and the harsh realities of football. Winston Bogarde didn't just play football. He played the game behind the game. In a sport where players are often seen as commodities, Bogarde was a reminder that sometimes the smartest move is to stay exactly where you are. Was he wrong to stay? Or was he simply smarter than everyone else? Understanding that the business of football is exactly that, a business. This was the story of Winston Bogarde, the man who defied the system. What would you have done in his shoes? Until next time, this is Football Fables.